Okay, so picture this. You're a small startup, let's say, in Silicon Valley, but your newest team member, a fantastic software developer, by the way, prefers working from, say, the beaches of Bali. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? But it's kind of the world we're living in now. We're diving into global hiring today, specifically taking a deep dive into remote, which seems to want to make hiring someone across the world as easy as grabbing your morning coffee.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. We're way past the whole remote work as a perk thing, right? It's like talent doesn't need a passport anymore. But, and this is a big but, most companies are totally unprepared for all the, I don't know, the red tape that comes with it.
Right. Like, at first glance, it sounds simple. You find a rock star employee, you hire them, done. But then I was on a remote site, and I realized, whoa, there's a lot more to it than I thought.
Oh, yeah, it's a whole different world. Different countries, time zones, currencies. Oh, and don't even get me started on the different laws. If you're used to doing things the traditional way, it can get overwhelming fast.
Okay, so let's break it down. Say I want to hire someone in, I don't know, Germany.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as just adding them to my payroll, huh?
Not even close. First off, you've got German labor laws to think about things like how much vacation time they have, what happens if they have a baby, even who gets to be on the company board. Totally different from, like, the U.S., you know?
But I'm guessing that's just the tip of the iceberg. Seems like one little mistake could mean some serious legal trouble.
You got it. And that's where this whole misclassification risk thing comes in. Like, you might think, oh, it'll be easier if I just call this person in Spain a contractor. But hold on, depending on the project and how much control you have, Spain might say, nope, that's an employee. Suddenly, you've got a legal and financial mess on your hands.
Wow. It makes you realize how much we take for granted hiring someone locally. And we haven't even touched on benefits packages.
Oh, man. Don't get me started. Health insurance, retirement plans, heck, even those transportation stipends that are normal in some places. Add in international rules and customs, and you're in a whole new world of herp.
It's like you need a team of lawyers and HR people from every country just to keep your head above water.
Pretty much. Which is why a lot of companies never even tried global hiring. But, and this is where it gets interesting, Remote says they've got a solution for that.
So they're trying to bridge the gap. How does that even work?
Basically, they want to be your one-stop shop for all things global hiring. Their main thing is something called the employer of record model.
Employer of record.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds kind of vague, but also complicated. Can you explain it?
Think of it like this. Remote becomes your trusted local buddy in whatever country you want to hire from. You're in the U.S., you want that developer in Bali. Instead of setting up a whole company in Indonesia and learning their laws and paying everyone in rupiah, Remote becomes the official employer of record for your Bali developer.
So technically they work for Remote, but they're really working for me.
Exactly. It's a smart way to get around all that legal stuff so companies don't have to become international law experts overnight. Remote deals with all the local rules, the payroll, the benefits, the whole shebang.
So it's like having a silent partner who takes care of all the HR stuff behind the scenes. And I can just focus on actually working with my team.
Right. It frees you up. And the best part is it's super flexible. Say you want to try out a new market, but you're not ready to open up a whole office in a new country. With an EOR, you can hire a few people, see how it goes. And if you need to, scale back without all the legal headaches.
Like dipping your toes into the global talent pool without jumping in head first.
Exactly. And this isn't just for full-time employees either. Remote also helps you manage contractors all over the world, which, let me tell you, comes with its own set of challenges.
Right. Because even for a short-term gig, you still have to follow all the local rules, don't you?
Absolutely. And that's where their contractor management platform comes in. It basically streamlines the whole process. Contracts, invoices, making sure everyone gets paid on time in the right currency. And of course, it helps you avoid that whole misclassification issue we talked about.
So they're taking care of all the boring admin stuff so I can actually, get work done.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just making things easier. Remote also gives you the tools to make smart decisions about your global team. Think strategically.
Oh, tell me more about that. I feel like that's something that a lot of companies probably forget about when they're going global.
You're totally right. It's easy to jump in without a plan. That's where this global hiring planner tool comes in. It helps you think about things like labor costs in different places, what the rules are, even cultural stuff. It's all about data.
So instead of just going, hey, Berlin sounds cool, let's hire someone there, I can actually look at the numbers and see what makes sense.
Yep. Like, is it cheaper to hire a bunch of engineers in, say, Lisbon or Bangalore? What happens if I want to give stock options to my team in France versus the UK? The Global Hiring Planner helps answer those questions.
Like a crystal ball for your global hiring strategy.
Ha! I like that. And speaking of data, if you're curious about what different jobs pay around the world, they've got this tool called the Salary Explorer.
Okay, I'll admit that one caught my eye on their website.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a data nerd. What's the deal with that?
It's pretty cool. Imagine a giant database of salaries for, like, every job you can think of all over the world. So you want to hire a marketing manager in London. Boom, you can see exactly what the average salary is there right now based on real data.
No more guessing or using those outdated salary surveys. It's like having access to the HR department of every company.
It's powerful stuff. Helps you stay competitive and attract the best people no matter where they are.
And since we're talking about different places, what about understanding all the cultural differences and those little legal things that trip people up? That seems like a minefield, even for companies with the best intentions.
For sure. That's why Remote created the Country Explorer. It's amazing. You click on a country, let's say Japan, and boom, you get all this info on their business etiquette, when their holidays are, even what their work-life balance is like.
Okay, now that's super useful. Can you give me an example of how this Country Explorer could save a company from, like, a really awkward situation when they're expanding into a new market?
Totally. Let's stick with Japan. The Country Explorer might say something like, hey, in Japan, looking someone directly in the eye can be seen as aggressive. Or, did you know that it's polite to present a business card with two hands? Little things like that could make a big difference.
It's like having a cultural advisor whispering in your ear as you're navigating all the ins and outs of global business.
Right. And that's not even scratching the surface. You'll find information about local labor laws, too. Working hours, overtime, how to fire someone. It's all different depending on where you are.
So Remote's got it all covered, from the big picture of building a global team to the tiniest details about, like, how to hand someone a business card.
They've definitely thought of a lot. It seems like they're really trying to make global employment less of a headache.
Okay, but let's be real. This all sounds a little too good to be true. There's got to be a catch, right?
Well, like with anything, there are always potential downsides. Some companies might not like giving up control of certain HR things, even if it makes life easier.
And I'm sure cost is a big factor, especially for smaller companies that don't have tons of money to throw around. Did you see anything about their pricing?
Yeah, they seem pretty upfront about it, which is good. They even have this fair price guarantee. Sounds like they're confident about their rates.
That makes sense. Transparency is key, especially with all this new global hiring stuff.
Totally. And you know what I like? They're not just selling software. They're actually giving you information to help you out. Have you seen their global HR library? It's got everything.
No, what's that?
It's on their website, guides about taxes in other countries, calculators to compare costs, even articles about managing, different cultures on a remote team. It's pretty impressive.
So they're not just giving you the tools, they're giving you the whole instruction manual.
Right. They get that for a lot of companies, this is all brand new, so they're trying to make it less scary.
And they have a blog, too, right? I was looking at it earlier. One of the titles was, "The Future of Work is Fluid." Kind of catchy, and it seems accurate, don't you think?
Definitely. We're getting to a point where it doesn't matter where you work anymore, right? It's all about finding the best people with the right skills no matter where they live.
Yeah, it's almost like the actual office is disappearing.
Yeah.
You could have a team spread out all over the world, but if you've got the right tools and everyone's communicating, it all works out.
Exactly. Think of the possibilities. The best minds from all over working together.
Yeah, the potential is huge. It's not even about finding the best person in your city anymore. It's about finding the best person, period.
It's a whole new way of thinking about work. And it's exciting to see companies like Remote leading the charge.
So for our listeners who might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now, what's the one thing they should remember about global hiring?
Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Look beyond your own backyard when you're building a team. There are amazing people all over the world who can bring something unique to your company.
It's about looking at the bigger picture.
Right.
Diversity isn't just about demographics. It's about different ways of thinking and working. And that can give you a real edge.
Absolutely. And like we've been talking about with Remote, there are tools and resources to help you figure it all out. It's not as impossible as it seems.
So be brave, do your research, and be open to new ways of doing things. Your next superstar employee could be a Zoom call away, living on the other side of the world.
Now, wouldn't that be something?
It's a whole world of possibilities out there. And on that note, we'll wrap up our deep dive into the exciting world of global hiring We hope you learned something new and feel inspired to explore this new frontier. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in our increasingly connected world.
Well said. Until next time.